Hey people, Frank Cement here. Give you a little update on Scorpion and then I'll move on to the next order of business. Since the last video I've been fine-tuning the tracks, getting everything aligned, and by the way, yes, my Scorpion does have claws. They hold the tracks on. Tensioners are done. Let's see, they move free, and I added something that was unexpected. This bar here is welded to the axle support, so when it overextends past this part is when it's fully compressed. It don't hit the tracks, but it's not long enough. This is about, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches, but these will extend past that and still stay aligned because of this. The only time I should be using this part is when the suspension is all the way down and I'm driving it, and I'm not going to be going over any kind of obstacles. If it's all the way compressed, it's going to be a rule. So I added that. It works pretty good. Way past it, and it's sturdy enough. I don't think it'll bend. I can put some force on there and it'll stay. Like I said, I won't be going over any kind of obstacles if that bar is fully extended like that, if I can get it to go that far. I don't know. I'm setting it up to where I can, but it's not required. But fully compresses. Guides are built into it, and both sides are done. I also tuned in all the A-arms and the bogies to where the tracks go forward and reverse with no problem, and that's without the suspension tight. Before I had to have the suspension tight to keep it from jumping off the sprocket, but now it will do it without any pressure on there, and it spins free both ways. So haha. Okay, next order of business is I'm going to be working on the brakes. I got this plate made. That plate is going to hold the top brackets to the framing, and then the bottom is going to take some weird doing. I got to work off of this bar right here to make the bottom. The bottom are going to be for braking, which will have a handbrake on the handlebars. The top will be for steering. This back plate will be welded in place. I don't know when I'll do it or how, but I'm going to start working on the brakes, building the arms, and figuring out how to work the linkage to where a single bar works everything. It's going to get kind of cramped back here. I also got the gearbox for mock-up, and I'm thinking about leaving it in from now on so I could finish the work, because I need that in a place here so I'd be able to get it in and out when everything's put in it. So coming together. There's the light. Okay, let's back and enjoy. Okay, I got the gearbox in. I'm trying to do something with the shifter. It's an H pattern, and the only place I have to put it is right behind the left foot. And it's kind of hinky too, because H patterns you got to go up and down with left and right. So I already started trying to bend it. I gotta straighten this out a little more. this part should be okay. I'm using a mat torch. Mat torch is pretty good for bending steel rod without having it break. Heat it up red hot. So I'll straighten this bend out, which will bring it right here up and then forward, and put the ball on the end. That way I could twist it along with going side to side. Okay, if my batteries last, I don't know. Okay, another key way of bending rod is I like to place a mark on the outside of the bend. That way I know which way to bend. Like this one I have to straighten out, and then this one I have to bend that way, right at that spot. So that helps you out. Sorry about that, my battery's about to die. I'll make it quick. I got it all set. Okay, I seem to be at a crossroads whether or not to be able to mount brakes underneath. So, as you can see, I'm having clearance problems with support bars for the axles, but I did figure out a way to try to keep the bottom brakes on there. So the idea is to, well, let's talk about the clearance issues. The arm has nowhere to move, whether it's above or below. Goes below, if I can get it down there. There we go. It sticks out past the frame, and there's little room. But if you notice, I got plenty of room on this side. So what I'm going to do is scrap this, flip the brakes over, and put the arm on this side. And then instead of having it pull forward to clamp, I'm going to make it to where, since I'm flipping it over, the pivot point will be on this side and the roller will be over here. I can make the arm come out towards this way, and it will work by doing this. I was planning on running cables down to the bottom brakes anyways. I'll just run the cables through here and connect to the arm. Well, that's the plan, maybe. Okay. Okay, I do believe I put a second set of brakes on this thing. Check it out. Yeah. Just so you know, this is the underside. Second set of brakes are going to go under the skid plate, which will hold them in place. Get a closer view on how they work with this set. See, these are pivots. Pull that out. You see under there. So they pivot on two rods. When I put the skid plate on there, it's going to hold this down, and it's going to hold the front end in place also, because when the brakes are applied going forward, they're going to want to go back and up. So the skid plate's going to hold them in place that way also. Okay, back to how they work. So this is your pivot point here. You got your brake pads, and then this rod here does the clamping, and this rod here, or tubing, is your leverage, and you have a pivot point on there also, which is right in here. Believe it or not, this thing won't come out unless this nut comes off, so there's no fear of letting go of the brakes and them flying apart. So this bar here holds this end up, and when you apply the brakes, it'll go towards the back, pivots right here, and it'll pull this rod, and this is your leverage right here, and it clamps. One more thing I need to do is finagle a spring in between here to spread them apart, and I'm going to put what you would call an equalizing rod that will just sit in here, so when you pull them, when this one stops, it'll keep pulling until this one stops, and the connection point will be in the middle, so it will go towards the back. And that's how I will apply the brakes with the handbrake to where they work equally, and it should stop straight. And then of course the linkage, I use this area. This will be for the linkage for for the brake system, and then run the cable up through here. There'll be a bracket here coming off and whatnot, or cable coming in this way and a lever working the rods, whatever. But these are the second set of brakes, and they are serviceable, because when I pull skid plate off, oh, this one will come right out. They lift right out. Do what I need to do with them. Oh. Sure, it'd be easier with two hands. Line up the holes. If you could see them. Where are the holes? Alright. Let's try this again. Scoot it over the brake rotor. Align the pins. And it drops right into place. How easy is that? The top brakes work the same way. When I put the skid plate on top, it's going to hold them in place. So I have one set of brakes for steering, one set of brakes for stopping. Okay, on to the next part. Since I'm working underneath, I can put the clutches in for the sprockets. Okay, till next update. Okay, I see you at the weekend and Sunday night, and sun's going down, as you can see. I got all 4 brakes mounted, and I also finished off the belt system to drive the sprockets. So let me show you. Spring tensioner. There's the tensioner itself and the belts. See, 27-inch belts, utility belts. Auto parts store didn't have the right belts, so I had to go to Home Depot, get these are trimmer edge belts of all things. So off the shelf part, real easy to get a hold of. I got 2 identical ones, and I know which belt to get. As far as I know, it's 27-inch. That would be the number right there. Yeah. The 27 will be the size of the belt. The rest of the numbers are probably for inventory purposes. But yeah. So I need to move this up some. That way it's not poking me in the leg. And didn't have a chance to finish off the skid plate in the back, but you can see the brake hanging there. That's why I need it. It's going to be holding the brakes in down below. So during the week I'll be working on it. Okay, that's pretty much it for this video. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks, man. Bye. Oh, and don't forget to share the video.